Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Kat. I am the Nurse Flipper. If this is your first time here, welcome. This month, April 2024, we are doing all of our research videos with a top out price of $500. So quite a few of you wanted the items that might be a little bit easier to find rather than those really extremely high priced ones. So today I am going to redo bud vases. I have not done bud vases in about 2 years. And what got me to do bud vases in the first place was that I sold a Luray Pastel 3-inch solid yellow vase for $300 in a day. And that really got me thinking, especially if you don't have a lot of room, bud vases are a great thing to sell that can have really high value, but don't take up a lot of space. So these vases are all going to be small vases. They are going to sell between $250 and $500. All right, so the term bud vase is all relative. It is typically a smaller vase. I would say 7 inches or smaller for a single flower bud. That is my understanding of it. So these bud vases are going to be different companies, different materials, and different styles that you can keep an eye out for that sell for really good money. So let's go ahead and take a look at the first one. First up is actually a Wedgewood, and I do want to caution you, color and design really makes a big difference when it comes to Wedgewood, and a lot of it was more mass produced and the demand is not high, so a lot of Wedgewood is not very valuable. So please keep that in mind when it comes to Wedgewood. This is a rare bulbous bud vase lion head. It is a cobalt blue jasperware, sold for $250 plus the buyer paid shipping. And we will take a look here at this Wedgewood. Beautiful cobalt blue. Typically you see that lighter blue and the green. Here is that Wedgewood mark there on the bottom. There looks to be a little bit of cracking on some of that lion. I think that is what they are showing here, and a little flaw there on the bottom as well. But this one's still sold for $250. Next is a Redwing gray and turquoise. This one's actually 10.5 inches, but it is a very slender vase. It says Art Deco Woman double bud vase, Charles Murphy. This one sold for $249 plus shipping. And here you can see it from the side. Really pretty Redwing. That's another one with all of these guys. Any of these names are going to have lower dollar as well as the more rare pieces. So make sure you are really comparing apples to apples when you are doing price comps on these. And this one here, you can see that $11.75 Redwing USA, and great sale at $250. Next is a Roycroft hand-hammered bud vase. It does say original glass. This one sold for $275 plus shipping. And all of these so far have been buy it now. I will let you know if they are auction. Here you can see the marking there on the bottom of this one. I will zoom in a little bit more for you there. And the glass insert, and this was a great sale at $275. Next, this one might catch you by surprise, and if you have not watched my dollhouse furniture video, definitely check that out. I will pop it up top for you. This is a vintage miniature dollhouse artisan Carol Wagner rose branch bouquet and bud vase. This one sold on auction for $292. This is a tiny one. Look at how little it is with the little roses. Gorgeous piece of work. I don't know how they identified it, but their name is miniature, so perhaps they know the artist that created this. So we'll go ahead and click here and see what it was started at. So this one had 2 different bidders, 8 bids, and it was started at $199. So it did increase close to $100. And this one's a great sale on a very, very small vase. Next is a Roseville Rosecraft panel brown double bud vase. This is circa 1920s. It does say vintage excellent. This one sold for $275. Here you can see this one is in great condition. I am not seeing any flaws present. There is the Roseville stamp on the bottom. You can see their paper saying Rosecraft panel 1920 bud vase. And this is not one that I've seen before, so definitely a rarer piece and a great sale at $275. Here is another Wedgewood. This one is a rare Wedgewood black dip jasperware Bellerophon Nike Cupid cameo bud vase. This one is circa 1900. This one sold for $324.99. Here you can see the different photos. Again, black is another color of Wedgewood that you don't see as commonly as the blue and green. Here is that Wedgewood imprint and England on the bottom of this. And this one was a great sale at $325. Next up is a Tiffany and Co. This one is an antique Tiffany and Co. Maker's Art Deco sterling silver bud vase. This one was an auction. It sold for $300, and we will take a look at that starting bid. Here you can see, and I've said this a couple of times, but with sterling silver, I find I leave it as is, just as the seller did, because some buyers prefer the patina or to polish it themselves. Here is the bottom of this. It is kind of hard to read there. It does say Tiffany and Co. And this is a great sale, very, very small base. And we'll click here and take a look. It got 6 bids. There were 3 different bidders, and it was started at $150. So this one doubled from that starting price, and great, great sale on a small Tiffany vase at $300. Next is a Lladro. If you do not know about Lladros, I have sold Lladros over $3,000, not bud vases, but Lladro statues. So definitely something I always look up. And it's another name that there are lower end and there are higher. So you definitely have to do your research. This is a Lladro Blue Dragon Bud Vase Deza 2005. So this one is not even vintage. It does say it's original box made in Spain. This one sold by it now for $316.80. This is a really, really neat vase. I don't know that I would have thought it would be worth $300 though. So really, really cool. Definitely if you find Lladro pieces, look them up. And Google Lens is pretty good at picking up the Lladros and identifying them. Here you can see they have the box as well as the pamphlet, and beautiful, beautiful Lladro, and a great, great sale on this one at $316. Next is a Christofle France vintage dough poissons silver plated 2-fish bud vase. So this one's not sterling. This one is just silver plated. It's 5 5/8 inch. This one sold for $349 plus shipping. This is the second one I've seen out of the Miami area in this video. I need to go back to Miami, I think. go visit Sam with Jolie Flips. Beautiful, beautiful vase. There you can see that Christofle there on the bottom, and they did zoom in to show that, and that is the silver plate marking. And this was a great sale at $349. Next is a Van Briggle. This one is 11.5 inches. I'm not sure I would have classified this as a bud vase. I think it came up in the search because there are flower buds on the outside of it. So I do want to clarify that because this one is a bigger piece at 11.5 inches. Still would like to show it to you. Definitely something to keep an eye out for. This one sold for $339. And here you can see beautiful blue on this Van Briggle piece. And there is that signature Van Briggle Colorado Springs. And really, really pretty, but kind of simplistic vase. This one doesn't have a ton of detail and still was a great sale at $339. Next is a Stephanie Young Calm Water Designs Studio porcelain miniature bud vase with crabs on it. Ever since I sold tons of $100 and $200 crab brooches, I always pay attention to stuff with crabs on it now. This one sold for $375. And here you can see the crabs on the bottom, as well as it looks like daisies or hibiscus there on the top. It almost looks like sea urchin type there on the bottom. And this one was a great sale at $375. Next is a Charles Lotton Art Glass Mandarin Red Squat Form Bud Vase. So this is a really good example, just like the Blu-ray Pastel I sold for several hundred. This one is pretty plain, and I think a lot of people wouldn't know the value. So this one sold for a best offer on $399. And here you can see this is just a plain red. Here is that Charles Lawton signature from 2007. So this is another one that is not vintage. It is just above that 5-inch mark and a great sale at almost $400. Next is a name I hope you are all familiar with, and that is Steuben. This is a Steuben Art Glass Blue Arene Stick Bud Vase. This one does say it's signed. This one sold by it now for $395. And here you can see the beautiful iridescent glass on this one. Here is that Arene signature. I don't see the S on this one that is typically on Steuben pieces, but great, great sale at $395. Next is a really, really neat one. This is a vintage rare 1983 Rude Osalnik Originals Rhododendron Wood Mini Bud Vase. It does say it's signed. This one sold for a best offer on $425. Really kind of cool burled wood almost look here. And definitely different. Here you can see this one is clearly signed with the Osalnik Originals. So it would be easy to identify. And they did put that it is rhododendron wood. And here you can see that whole bottom of it. And they do show it there with a single bud in it. And this one was a great, great sale. Took a best offer on $425. Next is a Pillin Studio, and there were quite a few of them in this $400 range. I did just put the one because I really wanted to get you some different names in this video. This is a Pillin Studio mid-century modern art pottery black and white ceramic bud vase. Sold for a best offer on $425. Here you can see the back. So there is the second half of her is a horse. And you can see there is some crazing there, and there is that Pillin signature. Definitely one to remember. A lot of these are going very, very high, and this one was a great sale. Best offer on $425. Next is a vintage Holt Howard and John E. Buck 1959 British Cozy Kittens Bud Vase. They did put mint and hard to find. This one sold on Buy It Now for $450. And we've been seeing a lot of Holt Howard here lately. Really, really cool kitty cat bud vase. And you can see they do take pictures of all the details. You can see there is a little bit of crazing there on the side as well as inside. There is that Holt Howard J.B. England stamp. And this was a great, great sale at $450. Next is some George Jensen. This is 2 George Jensen sterling silver bud vases. They are 4 3/4 inch tall. This one was an auction, but they only got 1 bid. So the pair sold for $450. And here you can see them laying down. This is the stamp on the bottom, clearly marked 925 sterling, George Jensen, Denmark. Definitely a name you want to remember. And these are beautiful, beautiful sterling vases. You can see same height as a Coke can, and a great sale at $450. With this one, we are up to our top 3, and we are topping out at 500. There are bud vases that sell for more, but we are not going to show them in this video. If you want to see my bud vase video from last year, I will pop it up top. That one had some higher value ones. This is an art glass Vaseline tall vase, flower buds, limbs and leaves design from Czechoslovakia. Sold for a best offer on $425. You can see them showing it there with that black light. Here it is with regular. Really, really neat vase. I think I saw, yeah, look, it looks like a chip there. Do you guys see that? Looks like there's a chip in that. It says excellent condition, no chips. So maybe that's just the way it was made. Maybe it's just an indent of one of those bumps. And here you can see it with the soup can. So this one's a little bit bigger vase as well, probably about 12 inches. And this one was a great, great sale, best offer on $425. Coming in at number 2, there were quite a few of these as well. This is an Earth Gender mid-century modern Robert Maxwell signed studio art bud vase. It does say rough stoneware. Really, really neat with the etching there on the bottom. This one sold for $495. And this one I would not have thought was worth as much as it is. Definitely would have not known it. Now on the bottom here, you can see the R Maxwell. That is the name that you want to remember for sure. And definitely keep an eye out there. Again, there were several of these that sold close to this $500 mark. Our top vase for this video is this 1980s Swid Powell Gwathmey Sigel Courtney silver plate flower bud vase. So it is not sterling. This one sold for $499. And we will take a look at this one. This one is another one I probably would not have pegged at that $500 mark. So you can see here, it says silver plate. I cannot read it. I cannot read it. And it does say it's signed twice. There's that Swid Powell GS. This one is just over 7 inches. Really, really neat. But again, not one I would have pegged for being at that $500 mark. And this one was a great, great sale. All right, that is it for our bud vases. I hope you have enjoyed. If you're wondering about my butt, it still hurts. I've been sitting on an ice pack the whole time. I fell on the boat last Sunday and either bruised or fractured my tailbone. So it has been very, very uncomfortable. I am resting. Do not worry about me. I promise you I am resting. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know which one surprised you the most. Coming up next, I think we're going to do vintage purses and revisit that again, and that's topping out at $500 as well. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Please do not forget, we are having our Sterling Estate Jewelry Show tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern on Whatnot. And we have some great tanzanite, peridot, chrome diopside, all sterling silver. I found it in a estate sale last weekend. So please come and join us. If you are not signed up for Whatnot, you can get $15 for free. using my code. I'll throw that down in the description or in the comments. And I will also be putting up a preview video tomorrow so that you can see what we'll have. And I think my daughter already cataloged it. So if you can't come to the show live, you can place pre-bids and still win some stuff. I hope to see you there. I really appreciate you watching. And members, if you're a paid member, don't forget we do have our live sourcing tomorrow night, Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard. The post is up in the community feed to sign up for me to source and look for estate sales in your area. So I'm super excited about that. I look forward to seeing everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.